Bd2, Morai Amoro, Story and Guidance. The Magical Council, 2 out of 32. Morai Amoro, the guiding force of the universal and spiritual teacher. The guiding force of physical, universal and spiritual teachers. Search, find, learn and master, and find your inner master. Quote, "If you wish to know the road up the mountain, ask the man who goes back and forth on it." Zen. End of quote. Morai's story. I am Morai Amoro, the founder of the Sacred Archives and principal of the Magical University of Life, a special study place where you can learn about the basics of life. Some years ago I founded this treasury of vital and aware living, located on an old meteor in the magical sphere just outside the shadow world. The shadow world is a space dimension that brings all the realms, planets and galaxies of the entire creation closer together, shifting and moving over, under and through each other, and for that reason time and space can be easily overbridged when traveling. With the permission of my master Kandu, the creator, I invited all the members of the Magical Council, also called the Sacred Council, who are living in the higher and lower Crystal Kingdom, Kausalia and Orania, in their respective realms, and giving them an additional home and purpose. It was great to see that many of them, who feel like and are worshipped like gods, gave up their power and stopped fighting with each other and started making time to come and convey their wisdom. After a serious conversation with Kalimubanko, the governor of Crystalia, talking about the condition of the Earth race and their planet, we joined forces. Kalimubanko usually cannot allow that mankind gets too much knowledge, but when he realized the situation that an entire race and a planet was at stake, he agreed, because by losing them and the planet, he would have failed in his mission. Kalimubanko's task is to keep the creation going, and to keep you all as crystal children of light, souls, busy, so you do not think about your real identity and wanting to go back to your real home by Kandu, the creator. When your planet would be destroyed, he basically has no place to keep you, and that is something all the council members are aware of. We, as the guiding forces, are in charge to help the people of the planet Earth because they are destroying themselves and their planet. Look at what mankind is doing. They are decreasing the oxygen. They are polluting the earth, the waters and air with their modern way of living. We talked about all of this and Kalimubanko agreed. The Sacred Archives and the Magical University of Life would be functioning as a neutral ground for all the guiding forces of universe and nature, revealing their power and wisdom to those earthlings, but also anybody else in the universe seeking to learn to help themselves in order to help others and their planet. By giving the Sacred Council members a position as faculty members at the Magical University of Life, they all felt important and equally treated. It was Chennai Summer, one of my students who went through an entire transformation and inspired me to build this place and to become the principal. It was her love for me and Kandu and her love for mankind and the planet that made me ask Kandu to make this happen. This is a special time in the history of Crystalia, where you can find all the council members in one location all together. The time before you had to search for them in their respective realms, and it was Chennai who went this journey, finding all about them. In addition to being a principal, I am called the Messenger of Love, a position which I got from Kandu, the creator, and you know about me through the stories of all the great souls, masters, teachers, and guides who came into the world, but don't forget, I am also within you. I represent your inner guide and ready to assist you to live life with a different consciousness, and reminding you that you are crystal children of light, children of Kandu, drops of the eternal ocean of love. I am here to remind you about this fact, assisting you in your adventure in Crystalia the Creation, but also preparing you for another adventure when you're ready. An adventure of finding the real you inside yourself and the path to return back to home, to Kandu. As little there is written about Kandu, who has no form and no name, there is more written about the messengers of love. In general, they do not write themselves, as they are living the teachings, but many people long after they died wrote about us. Realize, however, that a lot of our words and sentences they used are easily changed and can be wrongly interpreted. The real truth cannot be described in worldly words, but is an inner experience, and that personal experience is hard to share, for it is beyond words and form. As long as your soul is not woken up and trained to stay aware, you are under the power of Kalimobanko, your mind. Kalimobanko is your mind, which is not directed by Kandu and your soul, but under the power of your sense organs and negative passions. This is easy to explain because everything you think, say and do is mostly connected to the things of the creation. My task is to remind you about the real you and where you came from, and to encourage you to find the spiritual master. I'm here as well to help you to live life with different eyes, and hopefully you learn to live life again as an observer. Another task is to remind you that everything you learn is through all your universal and physical teachers, which starts with your parents and followed by many other teachers. It is for you to respect these teachers that all come to assist you to find that which is already within you. In regards to this, I also represent the universal teacher in all teachers you come in contact with, and who are confirming that all knowledge lays already within you. When I arrived in Crystalia the Creation, I made my home in Kausalia, also called the Upper Crystal Kingdom, in the highest of the 3 crystal mountains, located between the waiting realm and the preparation realm. Everything here is made of violet shining transparent crystals, and the mountains, being enormous ice foundations and formations, are made of violet colored crystals, disappearing into the endless skies, which has 1,000 suns shining down. This creates a light so bright that this place is accessible only to those who are prepared and ready to return back to Kandu and the ocean of love. In the endless orchards, in the valley, and all the slopes of the violet mountains, I have endless crystal trees of life, producing fruits of love. There they are crystal ornaments in every shape and color, each revealing messages, reminding you about Kandu's love and assisting you to live life from a higher perspective and consciousness while being in Crystalia. Everybody who ends up here assists me with the harvesting of these ornaments. The incredible growing takes actually place because everybody here is in a state of silent prayer and meditation, which is all about love for Kandu, and love makes all grow here. There are endless meditation caves in the crystal mountains and endless meditation sanctuaries with incredible crystal gardens in which individuals are preparing themselves to go back home to Kandu's ocean. Everyone here is in a state of trance and meditation and moves about with closed eyes, or sits in the caves or on top of endless smaller mountain tops in the enormous meditation sanctuaries. Anyone can also find me in the Zen Zone gardens, where you can speak with me and where I can guide you as a visiting soul about anything regarding life in Crystalia, the creation. In my Zen Zone gardens, you can experience meditation walking circles, lakes with Hansas, who are other great and pure souls, and endless ponds with many angels flying around, throwing their magical dust of love. I remember having had here my endless talks with Janai Summer, who is an earthling just like you, and giving her a different perspective on everything and every aspect of living in Crystalia. I believe she is writing them down and will probably share them with you one day. Causalia, also called the Upper Crystal Kingdom, has two realms. One is the waiting realm for those returning to Kandu's ocean of love, and the other the preparation realms, designed for the training of crystal children of light to venture the new world, but also for those children who lost this information while being in the adventure and needing a refreshment course. Being on an adventure in Crystalia the creation, you as crystal children of light have a device called the mind and the body. All this to experience it all in full. The mind, which is your communication device, is like a hard drive of a computer and contains all possible adventures and experiences. But this mind is part of creation, created with opposite, being part of the adventure in the realm of time, and where everything constantly changes. The mind has positive attributes calling higher virtues, but it also has negative attributes, which are called negative passions, that bring destruction and lead you away from living with the highest virtues as children of Kandu, the Creator. Some of these negative attributes are greed, lust, fear, anger, hate, and ego, or selfish motives. When you lose the connection with the positive attributes such as selflessness, moderation, forgiveness, unconditional love, and humbleness, just come to one of the preparation realms with me and get back on track. One of the special preparation realms is made of violet-colored transparent crystals, and each crystal is a crystal child of light. Everything moves in a circular motion, and the crystal children of light drift in their violet-colored transparent shadow like liquid crystal bodies, playing and moving around as they please. They can change themselves in a split second into being part of the environment and become part of the crystal roads, the crystal mountains, gardens, trees, and lakes, and at will, changing themselves back into their liquid crystal bodies and looking like beautiful transparent angels. This realm is endless in space, with violet-colored crystal mountains, valleys, and even rivers, lakes, and oceans. There are crystal houses of splendor and castles standing in their luminous beauty at the most spectacular spots and areas. There are fields of virtues, where the birth of the most beautiful human qualities take place. Here, humbleness, unconditional love, forgiveness, moderation, and selflessness sprout like fountains out of the crystal soil and are harvested and taken by the children. There are endless gardens with flowers of transformation, changing crystal children of light who have fallen down in the lower state of consciousness back into the higher one. In the mountains of peace, you can see some peace returning to those who lost it. The Cave of Bliss is another big attraction to make the children realize that all is a blessing from Kandu, and most of the time it just rains here, non-stop grace. The rains become even more intense when the tender thunder of acceptance passes through, and it is just great to see all the faces changing. Then there are the lands of laughter and humor, in which the children experience the most hilarious situations. Then there are the wishing wells of contentment, guiding one to not wish any more for the things of Crystalia, the mortal world. The ringing cliffs of courage, which goes far beyond any roller coaster, are the training ground for finding courage. The singing shores of freedom with the whispering winds of compassion, and the islands of simplicity and abundance are just great for a short vacation. The ruins of mercy with the embracing orchard, and the city of eternal hearts, where everything is made in the shape of hearts, and the temples and the wisdom temples, these are my favorite. The miracle fair gives one the understanding that all is a miracle, and in the center the towers of power, teaching one not to misuse any power, and the port of adventures one shouldn't miss while being here. This is the training ground to integrate those incredible qualities that are within you, but mostly in a dormant state. With my private chauffeur and disciple Dionyx, I started, and I'm still traveling in my golden space carriage, pulled by the white Hansas, and fulfilling my position as the messenger of love, and delivering these for the human eye's invisible ornaments of love. Our life is magical and mystical, and we always visit in Urania, also called the Lower Crystal Kingdom, the castles of garments, and rent a bodysuit we need in order to visit and blend into the worlds we are going to visit. When we go to the planet Earth, we choose a human body, but know that we can choose any bodysuit we think we would need. The fruit ornaments of love I hang on each individual's invisible crystal tree of life, reminding everyone about Kandu. Did you know that there is an invisible crystal tree of life around you as well? At one point in history, they were visible, but like any great things mankind receives, it gets misused or forgotten about, and so these incredible trees became invisible for the human eye. My energy, being the messenger of love, has revealed itself through many great souls at different times in the history of Crystalia, and they all reveal the original message over and over again. At different times, the inhabitants in Crystalia needed a particular teacher and teachings brought to them in a way so they could understand the message. All these great souls came to wake you as crystal children of light up, telling you that you are actually souls, children of Kandu, drops of his ocean of love, revealing how to live in the world and offering assistance in order to return home again. The quest for Kandu is called a science, as the teacher provides the information, but the seeker must do the scientific work and prove it to him or herself to find out that they are actually drops of the eternal ocean of love. When Kandu, the creator, gave me this position, I first wondered about his decision, because why does anyone need me when they have him? Kandu explained that he has no form and name, and for the people in creation that was too vague, and they needed someone in the flesh as an example, a teacher and a guide who they can talk to. I asked him, but are people not going to confuse me with you? He answered, Morai, you are me, when you stay connected to me in all your thoughts and actions through inner silent prayer and meditation. And this will also be for anybody else living this way. You are just the physical contact to bring those to this conscious level of living life. After he explained this to me, it all made sense. Any great master, teacher, and guide who reflects the essence of real teachings didn't came to save the world, although by following their teachings it would automatically do this. But they came to rescue crystal children of light, souls ready to return home. In the realm of Kandu, time doesn't exist, and we don't need to question him why certain souls are on the list and allotted to a certain teacher at a particular time in history of existence. No need to do that. None of these great teachers came to create religions or set individuals or groups against each other. None of them came with any judgment or expectation, and their service has always been free of charge. They just look at the essence and potential within all of you, and nobody was ever deprived of the info shared or the path offered. They also did not come to be worshipped in their physical form, but you were to find us within yourself. You all have the capacity and potential to become masters of endless subjects in life, but also a master who can rise above the realm of Kalimabanko, the world of death, mind and matter, and you are all able to return back home again. All of the real teachers have spoken about it, and have spoken about the in and upward path and about prayer and meditation, not to be used for the sake of worldly gain, but to still the mind and to go beyond it. This process is why living in the body and dying of the world. In other words, leaving the mind behind, going beyond, and to enter the dimension of Kandu where life is forever. Inside the labyrinth of the mind, which is invisible for your physical eyes, it is located at a spot between your two physical eyes. This is the spot where you go to with your fingers when you are thinking deep. The mind is like a maze or labyrinth. Kalimobanku, the governor of the mind, lives in Labyrinth Palace. And this labyrinth has endless doors through which you enter shops that lead into Crystallia, the external world, but is just a reflection of that what is inside your mind. Just close your eyes and travel in the world you know. You can go to any place inside this mind, and each attraction is like entering one of the doors of the endless shopping or the shopping mall. Inside this labyrinth with doors to Crystallia, there is, however, one door leading back to Kandu, and this door is referred to as the 10th door. The human body has 9 doors to the physical world, the 2 openings through the eyes, the ears, the nose, and the 3 other ones being the mouth and the 2 lower apertures. The 10th door is invisible and also called the single eye, and in order to go home, you must leave everything behind from Crystallia. You must have become the master of your mind, realize yourself as a crystal child of life, a soul, and having this intense longing to go home to Kandu. After you have found this door and stepped through it, you would enter Kosalia, the higher crystal kingdom, and end up in the waiting realms. To find this door and to go this journey, you would need a messenger of love. After this, you only follow the instructions of your master, teacher, and guide, like a scientific adventure. Then you learn to wait, because inside the waiting realm there is another door that Kandu will open when he thinks that you are ready. Here you learn to listen to the eternal sound and learn to get used to the eternal light, which light is even brighter than in my home in the Crystal Mountains, which has 1,000 suns shining. All of this is probably not for you being in your childhood years, but I wanted to give you a preview, and that there are other adventures and places other than the places and adventures in Crystallia the creation. Anyway, when the time comes in your life and you want to really find out about the real you, your soul, connected to me, connect with me or the guide and teacher representing me who is allotted to you, and travel back and forth with me or your guide, and let's find out. It would also be nice to see you showing up in the Zen Zone gardens, just like Janai did, and talk to me about life. And when you are not able to do this yet, just read about me and any of the other members of the Sacred Council, all there to assist you in your life adventure. In the meantime, while growing up, you need many other teachers, guides, mentors, coaches, educators, and masters, other than me, who are offering you to learn and prove things that are already within you. They are just there to find those treasures inside yourself. These teachers are your parents, teachers at school, coaches and trainers in sports, or anybody you can learn from. There is so much to learn and to be mastered, but also know that repeating negative thoughts, words and deeds will master you, and that then you will be the slave of them. How I can help you in your life. Quote, "He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still." Lao Tzu. Knowing others is intelligent. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Lao Tzu. End of quote. I am Morai Amoro, the messenger of love, representing the Universal Master, and I will make you aware of your spiritual master's potential within yourself. A real spiritual teaching is a living example of the teaching, guiding you to self, soul, and God realization, and showing you the way home. I am as well your inner guide that assists you to live life in creation with your highest potential, and giving you always a different and positive way to look at things. I keep you aware that life is like a movie in which you play many roles, and hopefully you can reach a time in your life that you actually can learn to observe your movie, play the roles you have to play in the best way possible, but do not lose yourself in any of them. I am also here to remind you that you have to master and overcome many things. Learn from all the teachers that are in your life and that are there and there will be many of them, and even surpass them in whatever they have to offer. Mastering. What does it mean? Mastering is about learning something and becoming so good at it that you do not have to think about it anymore. It has to become second nature, so to speak, or it has to become one with you. Learning to crawl, to stand up and walk all by yourself, to speak and to get your hands on food and into your mouth without making a mess are some of the first tasks related to mastering. Your teachers. Your first teachers are your parents, family members, your school teachers, your friends, relatives, your hobby and sport teachers, the animals, and everything in nature, for all of them are your teachers for that moment. There are endless teachers around you, even pain and sickness are teachers, because you can learn from these situations. Learn from these teachers, who, when they are good teachers, wish for you to one day have more knowledge and wisdom than they have. But in the meantime, stay respectful and thankful for all the help you can get from them. Mastering the basics of life science. Mastering the basics of life is like a school or education before any other education or school. This is not primarily about learning skills, but to understand how everything functions in your world. You are in a foreign land and need to know the rules and regulations. You need a manual that you lost somewhere throughout history. You need all the help you can get to understand the mind and Kalimobanko, how it affects each other. You need to learn about working with time, change, duality, the cycles of life, how everything is built, and how these elements affect each other, and much more. Without this base, even having all the money and power in the world, you will keep struggling endlessly. Start learning and discovering about this all by studying all the members of the Sacred Council who represent all this knowledge, and learn to master their knowledge. Mastering basic living skills. Through your parents, learn about all the things regarding your primary skills, such as toothbrushing, washing your body, tying your shoes, dressing up, combing your hair, how to put things back in place, how to clean, prepare your meals, doing the dishes, helping in many chores around the house, and how to take care of yourself when you're not feeling well. Keep repeating them until they become second nature, and then you can say that you have mastered them. Maybe your parents have special skills, like being good in the garden, or artistic skills, sports skills, or any other. Be smart to learn as much as possible, because many, when you master them, could be like a profession even before studying for any other profession. Take advantage of the environment and parents you choose. Mastering basic behaviors. How you behave in your early years will have a great effect for the rest of your life, and it will make it easy or more difficult. Learn from those around you to be gentle, polite, kind, forgiving, inspirational, loving, caring, patient, smiling, respectful, and mindful. And when those around you have lost the opposite behavior, it is for you a sign to master the more positive ones. Learn as well not to connect emotions to people, places, and events. Learn to separate them and master this skill as well. It is not that I feel great because the sun is shining, but I feel great and the sun is shining. It is not that I'm angry at you, rather express that you are angry and frustrated and at the same time having an argument with someone. Mastering educational skills. With basic educational skills, you can start at home and you can continue to be homeschooled or you attend a school. This is about learning how to read, write, count, geography, history, music, sports, and many more subjects. In addition to playing, make sure that you are there with all your heart and mind, because the better you listen and follow instructions, the faster you master these skills. Mastering professional skills. Later in your life, you most likely will study for professional skills other than those you have acquired already at home. Before mastering these skills, make sure you have a good and strong base regarding all the above mentioned skills. Master as many possible. Mastering the mind. The mind, which is in most cases ruled by the sense organs and negative passions, will need more work than the mastering of most skills mentioned before, and this boils down to mastering the basics of life again. The mind doesn't want, it wishes, it desires, and it rebels, and does everything just to keep you busy. This is the task of Kalimobanko, the mind. So you do not really search for you, your real you, where you came from, and about the greatest adventure of all, to find and reunite with Kandu, the creator. The mind needs to come under the control of your soul, and this means you need to master Kalimobanko, and this can take a lifetime, but in the end, it is really worth it. You might not want to think about it at this time in your life, but at least you heard me talking about it, and possibly later in your life you will remember this. Mastering the fear of death. What I'm going to tell you is like making you aware of mastering your mind. When you would be confronted with the physical death of somebody you're near to, and when the fear of death enters your being, know that there is a way to overcome the fear of death. You might not want to hear right now about all of this in Crystallia the creation, that everything is connected to death, the death of the moment that is just gone, the death of a toy, the death of a leaf or fruit which falls from the branches of a tree, the death of a day that just passed, etc., etc. Every moment there is new life, and there is the death of something that was. But know that the real essence inside all, and the real inside of you, your body, your soul, never dies. So in order to overcome and even master the fear of death, and even death itself, you must go to the adventure to find that real you, which never dies. This is connected to mastering the mind, who makes us believe in fear and who itself is subject to death. The things of the world, the body and mind, are all part of an ever-changing movie, in which everything has a time to be part of that movie. Sometimes it is not easy to accept certain facts, but in time, when we want, we can learn to accept them and learn to deal with them better. Mastering. Learn from all your teachers and look for a spiritual master who can help you to become the master of your mind and matter. Then you will master the sense organs and negative passions who are holding you back from even more exciting adventures. It is about rediscovering your true abode and who you really are, and all these treasures are right within you, reclaimable and not too far. Here are some questions. Do you know that everything in life is a kind of a teacher? Is it not that we can learn from everything? Explain in your own words what the guiding force of Morai represents. Mention some of your physical teachers in the past. Mention some of the physical teachers right now in your life. Mention which teachers you would like to have in your life. Do you pay respect to your teachers? And how? Which teacher do you have a hard time dealing with? Know that they represent something inside of you that you have not come to terms with, which you have not mastered yet. Which teachers have you surpassed? What skills do you think that you have mastered?